He was a pathetic, ugly orphan until he married his hot childhood friend and became the strongest assassin in the world. Tai had a terrible day when he lost his family in a tragic accident with a truck. The event made him realize how short and fragile life can be. From that moment, he became terrified of losing anyone else he cared about. His best friend, Mutsumi, who had known him since they were kids, felt heartbroken for him. She promised she would always stay by his side and never leave him. Later, in school, Tai sat quietly in class when a group of classmates came up to him. They invited him to hang out with them, but he said no. They got annoyed because he had turned them down so many times before. They couldn't figure out why he kept avoiding them, but eventually they guessed he was just shy. They left him alone, but in truth, Tai was too sad and hurt from losing his family to connect with others. Deep down, he appreciated their kindness but couldn't bring himself to join them. After they left, Mutsumi came over with some food. She told him he needed to eat well and take care of himself. As they talked, Tai noticed that some of their classmates were watching them, clearly jealous. It was obvious many of them liked Mutsumi, but she only seemed to care about helping Tai. She started worrying about his behavior because he was shutting himself off from everyone. She told him he needed to talk to others, but Tai avoided the topic by asking her why she had rejected a senior named Tanaka, who was supposedly a nice guy. Mutsumi told him to stop worrying about her and focus on moving forward. Just as she was about to feed Tai a bite of food, their vice principal, Harukawa, swooped in and ate it instead. Mutsumi scolded him, reminding him about his promise to stop snacking. Harukawa made a lame excuse about not being able to resist. Tai found the whole thing strange, especially when Harukawa told him to come to his office after class. Tai started worrying he might be in trouble. After school, Tai nervously went to Harukawa's office. He was shocked to see the walls covered in photos of Mutsumi. Harukawa confessed that he had been secretly watching her to protect her from anyone who tried to date her. He admitted he had even scared off Tanaka by threatening him. Tai was horrified and realized that Harukawa was completely insane. Harukawa then asked if Tai had feelings for Mutsumi and warned him to stay away from her. Before Harukawa could do anything worse, a girl suddenly appeared, pressed a button, and filled the room with bright light, allowing Tai to escape. Tai woke up later to see Mutsumi by his side. She was relieved he was okay, but Tai quickly noticed a group of strangers around him. He panicked, but Mutsumi calmed him down and introduced them as her siblings. The girl who had saved him was Futaba. Her brothers, Shinzo, Kengo, and Nano, each had their own quirks. One loved guns, another was obsessed with cats, and the last loved experiments. Shun, another sister, was great with tech, and they even had a giant dog named Goliath. Then Mutsumi dropped the biggest surprise. Her entire family were spies. At first, Tai thought it was all a joke, but then he accidentally fired one of Shinzo's guns and realized it was very real. The siblings explained that being spies was just their job, but they were struggling to compete with cheaper government spies. Shin proudly shared that their family had top reviews online, thanks to their older brother Yozakura, who was surprisingly popular with women. Tai was shocked to learn Yozakura was actually Harukawa, the vice principal. Futaba explained that Yozakura's obsession with protecting Mutsumi came from guilt over a past incident that left her with white hair. Yozakura had driven away anyone who got close to Mutsumi but had spared Tai because he was her childhood friend. Suddenly, an alarm rang. Yozakura had arrived, and the family got ready to fight. Shinzo set traps, but Yozakura easily broke through them. Futaba told Tai that the only way to be safe was to marry Mutsumi. She explained that their family had a rule: no one could harm a family member's spouse. However, Mutsumi refused, knowing Tai wasn't ready for such a big decision. The siblings tried to fight Yozakura, but he overpowered them one by one. Yozakura cornered Mutsumi and Tai, demanding they hand Tai over, but Tai stood his ground. He told Mutsumi he couldn't watch her suffer anymore and asked her to give him the family ring. Mutsumi hesitated but finally throws it to him, but Yozakura stopped him. However, Tai wants to protect the last person dear to him and grab the ring, making their bond official. At the same time, other siblings arrive and are happy to see Tai as their family. Seeing Tai's determination, Yozakura agreed to let him stay and even offered to train him to protect Mutsumi. The next morning, Tai wakes up and sees Yozakura standing over him with a knife. Tai quickly dodges, thinking Yozakura is trying to kill him, but Yozakura praises his reflexes. He then explains that this is part of his training because spies need to stay alert, even while sleeping. Yozakura suddenly says it's time to exercise and ties Tai up with his wires. Meanwhile, Mutsumi is in the kitchen making lunch when she hears Tai screaming. She runs to check and finds Yozakura stretching Tai in a rough way. Annoyed, she tells him to stop, and Yozakura gives in. Realizing they're running late, he grabs Mutsumi, and they both jump out the window just as the house explodes. Tai is confused, but Yozakura explains that someone planted a bomb. Later, in a car, Yozakura gets a report from Shinzo that the bomb was hidden in the kitchen, meaning Mutsumi was the target. Tai doesn't understand why, so Yozakura explains that Mutsumi is the 10th head of the Yozakura family. Yozakura adds that their family comes from Edo-era ninjas. Most of them have superhuman abilities, but the family head is always born normal. However, the head carries a gene that gives their kids these abilities. It's the family's job to protect the head, but more than that, they love Mutsumi and want to keep her safe. Yozakura says Mutsumi will one day lead the family in the underworld, but for now, she's learning about the normal world. Unfortunately, this makes her a target for enemies. Suddenly, their car gets attacked. Tai freaks out, but Yozakura says the car is bulletproof. The attackers start using bigger weapons, but the driver, Goliath, avoids everything. Tai can't believe how skilled Goliath is. When rockets are fired, Yozakura spills his tea and decides to handle it himself. He jumps out of the car, uses his wires to block the bullets, and destroys the enemy cars. Afterward, Yozakura goes back to Tai and Mutsumi, telling Tai that since he's now part of the family, it's his job to protect Mutsumi too. He hands Tai a gun and gives him his first mission: keep Mutsumi safe from assassins for the whole day. The next day, Tai and Mutsumi arrive at school. Mutsumi greets her classmates warmly, but Tai acts suspicious, scanning the entire room like he's searching for danger. The girls notice his strange behavior, while the boys greet him but are shocked by how tense and out of it he seems. In a flashback to earlier, we see Tai sitting in the car, staring at the gun Yozakura gave him. Yozakura tells Tai it's fine to use it, even if he kills someone, but Mutsumi scolds her brother for joking around. Tai feels relieved until Mutsumi calmly explains that bombs and poison are the real threats, and a gun won't help much. Yozakura mentions a bomber named Tamiya, whose work is top-notch. He even admits to hiring Tamiya in the past. Tai wonders why Tamiya would betray them, but Akiro explains it's normal for people like him to switch sides. Yozakura adds that Tamiya's weakness is his addiction to social media. He constantly posts updates about his jobs. Yozakura informs Tai and Mutsumi that there are hostages he needs to rescue, so he won't be around to help. However, he warns Tai to stay alert, revealing Tamiya has posted that 2 more bombs are hidden. It's Tai's job to protect Mutsumi until he returns. Back in the classroom, Tai anxiously follows Mutsumi, looking for anything suspicious. When Tamiya posts that the second bomb is ready, Tai panics, as he tries to figure things out. He gets hit in the face with a ball, and the boys rush over to check on him. Through the window, Tai spots a shadowy figure and immediately chases them. He ends up at the infirmary but hesitates at the door. A nurse appears behind him, asking if he's okay. He awkwardly excuses himself, and as he leaves, we see the nurse smirk. Back in class, Tai checks his phone and sees Tamiya has posted that the final bomb is in place. He starts to notice how careful Mutsumi is. She avoids eating anything given to her and tries not to be alone. The boys apologize again for hitting him and offer him some chocolate. Tai eats it without thinking, surprising them since he's usually so tense. Moments later, he feels sick, and the boys suggest taking him to the infirmary but remember the nurse is away. Tai collapses and wakes up later to Mutsumi, who mentions the infirmary is closed. As he reflects on everything, Tai feels unworthy of protecting Mutsumi, even though they've been childhood friends. He realizes he never truly understood her struggles or considered her feelings when deciding to marry her. Mutsumi interrupts his thoughts by playfully bonking him on the head, reminding him that she chose him. She thanks him for marrying her, which makes Tai happy until he notices a bomb on the ceiling. It explodes, but luckily, both he and Mutsumi survive. Tai realizes Tamiya is targeting Mutsumi through his actions and discovers a third bomb strapped to his own body. Realizing Tamiya planned this to keep him close to Mutsumi, Tai jumps out of the building to save her. Yozakura catches him mid-air, disarms the bomb, and congratulates him on completing his mission. Yozakura decides to return the bomb to its owner. Nano, Kengo, and Shinzo appear, revealing they were watching the whole time to see how Tai handled his first mission. Shinzo hands Tamiya over to Yozakura, who throws Tamiya out the window just as the bomb detonates. Later, Tai moves into the Yozakura mansion since his home was destroyed. Yozakura warns him to stay on his toes, but Tai's life quickly becomes a nightmare. One night, Tai dreams of being helpless as a brute holds Mutsumi hostage. He wakes up, determined to get stronger. He begs Futaba to train him, but she immediately throws him to the ground, warning him not to rush. She tells him it takes years to become skilled and calls him talentless. However, seeing his determination, she offers him a chance to train in the family mansion for a month before the real training begins. Tai accepts but soon discovers the house is filled with traps. The next day, Tai struggles to get out of bed as an alarm explodes in his room. He manages to reach the dining table, where Futaba reminds him that surviving the traps is part of his training. Mutsumi worries it's too dangerous, but Futaba explains the traps won't stop until the house recognizes him as family. Tai continues to fail miserably, activating trap after trap, including one that nearly burns him alive. At mealtime, Tai learns the food is laced with mild poison to build tolerance, which sends him running to the bathroom, only to find the door locked. Futaba insists Mutsumi let Tai handle it on his own. Tai spends his days in constant struggle, and his classmates notice he looks awful. They offer to help, but Tai insists he's fine. In the mansion, Tai practices shooting a remote to turn on the TV, but Mutsumi interrupts, encouraging him to rest. She reminds him that he's always been there for her, even in high school when he defended her from bullies. In the present, she reassures him that he's not weak and doesn't need to be so hard on himself. Tai continues to improve, impressing the family with his determination. He learns to dodge traps and even handles poison gas with Nano's help. A few days later, Tai got used to living in the Yozakura mansion. He learned how to avoid the traps and finally sat at the table to eat with everyone. The food still had poison in it, part of the family's strange training, but Tai handled it like a pro. Mutsumi smiled, happy to see him doing well. Then, she gave him a glass of milk. Tai drank it without thinking, but soon, he felt sick. He rushed to the bathroom, but the door wouldn't open. He collapsed on the floor outside. The family found Tai lying there, looking pale and weak. Nano checked him and said he had a fever because he was overworking himself. Tai tried to brush it off, saying he was fine and could keep going, but Futaba removed his fake skin. Underneath, his body was covered in cuts and bruises. She got mad and yelled at him for pushing himself so hard. Futaba said he couldn't protect Mutsumi if he destroyed his health. Tai explained that her siblings had tried to stop him, but he begged them to help because he wanted to get stronger. Futaba called him an idiot and told him to rest. She handed him a book about unlocking doors and said he should study it until he recovered. As Futaba walked away, she realized Tai wasn't weak. His determination and love for Mutsumi made him stronger than she thought. She started to believe he might succeed. After a few more days, Tai finally managed to unlock the bathroom door by himself. Everyone cheered for him, and Tai thanked them for supporting him. Suddenly, his ring started glowing. Futaba explained that this meant the house now recognized him as part of the family. She told him he was doing a great job but warned that the hardest part of his training was yet to come. One morning, Tai was in the kitchen while Mutsumi was cooking. As usual, she added a little poison to the food, saying it was a family tradition. Out of nowhere, Tai asked her how to wear a bra. Mutsumi was shocked and didn't understand what he meant. Tai quickly said it was for practicing disguises, but she still looked confused. Kengo walked in, offering to teach Tai, but instead teased him. Then Shinzo came in, curious about what was going on. Tai pulled off Kengo's disguise, exposing his prank. Taiyo Asano entered the kitchen next, saying he was about to leave for a mission. Before he left, he tried to kiss Mutsumi goodbye, but she smacked him in the face. Everyone laughed. Shinzo said he also had a mission, but it was a simple one, retrieving a plate used for counterfeit money. Tai thought it sounded risky, but Shinzo assured him it wasn't a big deal. Before leaving, Shinzo gave Tai something important and told him to keep it safe. The next day, Tai and Mutsumi were walking to school. Suddenly, a baseball came flying toward them. Without even looking, Tai caught the ball and threw it back with incredible speed. The coach saw this and immediately invited Tai to join the baseball team. During lunch, Mutsumi reminded Tai to be careful about showing his new skills, as it might reveal his training. After school, Mutsumi worked on family paperwork. Tai was amazed at how much she managed. Mutsumi explained that it was her job as the head of the family. Then, she noticed some documents were missing. She and Tai went to Kengo's room to check. The room was a complete mess. Kengo admitted he hadn't done the report. When Mutsumi scolded him, Kengo disguised himself as Mutsumi and ran off. Tai hesitated, giving Kengo a chance to escape. Annoyed, Mutsumi activated the house's lockdown mode to catch Kengo. Meanwhile, Shinzo's mission went wrong. He found the counterfeit plate but set off an alarm. He called the family for help, and Tai was sent with a package to assist him. Tai sneaked into the facility but was attacked by guards. He remembered his training and used a gadget Shinzo had given him to take them down. The gadget shot electricity and stopped the guards from calling for backup. Tai finally reached Shinzo, but a sniper spotted them. The sniper shot Tai in the leg. Tai threw Shinzo a fork, which Shinzo used to destroy the sniper's gun. They barely escaped. Afterward, Shinzo apologized for the trouble and promised to work harder to protect the family. That evening, Tai talked to Mutsumi on the phone. She invited him on a date, but before they could decide where to go, a car pulled up and a man stepped out. The man introduced himself as Seiji, a police officer, and asked Tai to come with him. At the police station, Seiji showed Tai pictures and videos from his recent missions. He accused Tai of working with a secret group. Seiji tried to trick Tai into confessing by giving him water mixed with truth serum, but Tai cleverly avoided drinking it. Seiji got angry and attacked him. Tai noticed a thread on Seiji's wrist and realized Yozakura was involved. Moments later, Yozakura appeared. He revealed that Seiji was actually an ally who helped cover up the family's activities in exchange for their help solving cases. Seiji admitted he was testing Tai to see if he would betray the family. He was impressed by Tai's loyalty and said he passed the test. Before leaving, Seiji mentioned a big job for Yozakura. Yozakura said it was time for his next mission. The next day, Tai was completely exhausted because he hadn't been able to get enough sleep. Mutsumi noticed and became worried about him. Before she could say much, Yozakura entered their classroom, announcing that he would be their substitute teacher. He began giving a lecture, but Tai, struggling to stay awake, started to doze off. Suddenly, he sensed something flying toward him, a piece of chalk. Tai barely dodged it, and the chalk hit the wall, leaving a massive hole. Yozakura smirked and used Morse code to tell Tai he needed to learn to control his sleep patterns. He compared Tai to a dolphin, explaining that dolphins don't fully sleep but let parts of their brains rest while staying alert. He told Tai he needed to master this, but Tai thought it sounded impossible. Humans need real sleep to survive. Yozakura warned him that more chalk would come if he fell asleep again. Mutsumi stepped in, accusing Yozakura of torturing Tai. Yozakura was overjoyed that Mutsumi was talking to him, but she told him to stop making Tai's life harder. Instead of backing off, Yozakura took out a small pellet, crushed it, and filled the room with sleeping gas. Everyone in the class passed out except for Mutsumi, who had put on a gas mask. Annoyed, she realized Yozakura had gone too far. Tai, half asleep, managed to dodge multiple pieces of chalk that Yozakura threw at him. Mutsumi was shocked to see Tai moving so well while barely awake. Yozakura kept throwing chalk until the class ended. That evening, Tai couldn't return to the half-awake state and ended up sleepwalking, creeping everyone out. The next day, Tai read a manual about dating like a spy. He realized he hadn't spent enough time with Mutsumi and worried that their marriage might fail. He was about to ask her out when Seiji called with an urgent mission. Tai went to an amusement park, where Seiji told him to find a dangerous couple causing trouble with guns. Seiji didn't have any details about what they looked like, so Tai had to figure it out himself. Feeling out of place because he was alone, Tai attracted a lot of attention. Just then, Mutsumi appeared, saying she knew about the mission and was there to help. She pointed out suspicious people and assured Tai she could protect herself. Tai noticed a sweet-looking couple and tried to mimic their behavior to make Mutsumi happy. When the man complimented the woman's outfit, Tai awkwardly told Mutsumi that her outfit was good for high kicks. Mutsumi just smiled, saying it was easy to move in. They followed a suspicious couple onto a roller coaster, but the ride turned out to be normal. Tai even fell asleep because it wasn't challenging compared to his training. Afterward, they observed more couples but found nothing suspicious. Finally, they spotted another couple that seemed strange. Tai overheard the man talking about a special item and thought it was a gun, but it turned out to be a ring for a marriage proposal. Frustrated, Tai held a rose, thinking about how to make Mutsumi happy when he heard the sweet couple arguing. The argument quickly escalated, and the couple pulled out guns. Everyone in the park panicked as they started shooting. Tai's rose was hit, and he became angry. He used his electric bullets to stop the couple, and the police arrived to arrest them. Seiji thanked Tai for his help, but Yozakura was upset to learn that Tai had gone on a date with Mutsumi. Later, Tai and Mutsumi rode the Ferris wheel. Mutsumi explained that she had saved it for last because she wanted to enjoy the sunset with him. Tai gave her the damaged rose, saying he wanted to thank her for everything she'd done for him. Mutsumi accepted it, and they spent the rest of the evening together. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, Shin was finishing a mission. Exhausted, she tried to sleep, but her system was hacked by a mysterious girl. Shin fought back but couldn't stop the hacker, who stole pictures of Tai before disappearing. The next morning, Tai and Mutsumi saw Shin looking tired. She told them about the hacker, saying it was strange they only took pictures of Tai. This gave Tai a bad feeling. At school, Tai and Mutsumi were suddenly stopped by needles thrown by the mysterious girl. Tai prepared to fight, but the girl declared her love for him while also saying she wanted to kill him. Mutsumi recognized her as Ayaka, a spy known as the Manhunter. Ayaka explained that she fell in love with Tai after seeing a video of him online, but also revealed that a company had put a bounty on his head. Ayaka threw needles everywhere, summoning other bounty hunters. She became jealous, wanting Tai all to herself. Tai explained that he was married to Mutsumi and couldn't let himself die. Ayaka, heartbroken, revealed that Yozakura gave her permission to target Tai as long as Mutsumi wasn't harmed. Tai and Mutsumi were shocked that Yozakura allowed this. Ayaka threw more needles but left, promising to see Tai again. The next day, Ayaka was introduced as a new transfer student and was seated next to Tai. She immediately caused trouble, using her needles to control their classmates and turning them against Tai. Mutsumi intervened, stopping Ayaka's attack. Just then, another bounty hunter appeared, aiming at Ayaka. Mutsumi saved her, and Ayaka, touched by Mutsumi's kindness, fell in love with her too. Back home, Ayaka clung to Mutsumi, declaring she now wanted to kill Tai so she could have Mutsumi all to herself. Tai wasn't happy about this but got a call from Shin. She invited him to her room to play a game. Tai was confused but joined in. The game turned out to be part of Shin's mission, where she hacked into systems and controlled real-world events through gameplay. Together, they stopped a runaway train and a helicopter heading toward a power plant. During one mission, they fought a dragon that turned into a swarm of drones. Tai used a revive item to bring the dragon back, and it helped destroy the drones. Ayaka appeared, helping to take down the last few drones while snapping pictures of Mutsumi. After finishing the mission, Shin insisted Tai keep playing with her, refusing to let him leave. Meanwhile, a spy named Ayaka saw Tai in a magazine and found him intriguing, but his partner reminded him they had a mission to focus on. Tai was busy with his training when he suddenly got a call from Nano. Nano sounded calm, but what he said made Tai panic. He explained that he had sneaked into a secret lab that was making a super dangerous weapon called sodium. This biological weapon could wipe out everyone within a 10-kilometer area if it exploded. What shocked Tai the most was when Nano admitted he had eaten it. Nano quickly reassured Tai, saying his body was unique and could break down the poison in 3 hours. However, he confessed that he was already feeling sleepy because of the weapon. Tai reminded him that the mission wasn't over, but Nano casually mentioned he had put all the guards to sleep. Then, before Tai could say anything else, Nano asked him to come rescue him and immediately fell asleep. When Tai arrived at the lab, he saw all the guards lying unconscious. It didn't look like Nano had done this, though. Suddenly, a guard spotted Tai, but before the guard could act, someone else knocked him out. Tai turned to see two people, Ayaka and Sui. They introduced themselves as spies from a government-run agency called Hinajiku. They explained their mission was to shut down the lab and stop sodium from being made. Ayaka seemed curious about Tai's skills and asked him to join them for the mission. Since they had saved him, Tai decided to trust them. Together, they took down the guards and found Nano asleep in the lab. But as Tai reached Nano, Ayaka suddenly attacked. That's when Tai learned the truth: they had tricked him. Ayaka and Sui used Tai to find Nano, and their real mission was to kill him. Sui explained they believed Nano was dangerous since he had swallowed the weapon. Tai refused to let them hurt Nano and even pointed a gun at them. Sui, however, moved so fast that Tai couldn't keep up and got injured. Sui mocked him, saying he wasn't good enough to be a spy. As Sui prepared to finish Nano, Nano woke up, announcing that his body had already broken down sodium. He even showed them proof with a patch test that confirmed he was no longer poisonous. Sui backed off, satisfied, but told Tai he needed to get much stronger if he wanted to survive in their world. Back at the mansion, Yozakura was furious. He showed Tai a magazine article about how he lost to Hinajiku, embarrassing the family. Akiro also scolded Tai, calling him weak. Feeling ashamed, Tai admitted he wasn't strong enough to protect anyone. Yozakura told him he could still prove himself by defeating Hinajiku. Tai promised to work harder and become stronger. Meanwhile, Sui was on a train when he got into a fight with an annoying man. The man tried to threaten him, but Sui calmly tore his clothes apart, scaring him away. Tai, who had been secretly following Sui, was amazed but also nervous. Sui noticed Tai and teased him, asking if he wanted revenge. Tai admitted he wanted to learn from Sui, but every time Tai got close, Sui humiliated him by tearing his clothes. For several days, Tai followed Sui, studying his behavior. Each time, Sui caught him and sent him away. One day, Tai found Sui and Ayaka fighting a gang. Tai jumped in to help, but Sui targeted him again, making fun of him. Back at the mansion, Nano encouraged Tai, reminding him that his determination was his greatest strength. This gave Tai the confidence to keep trying. One evening, Tai approached Sui at a graveyard. Sui, annoyed, attacked Tai. But this time, Tai was ready. He had been watching Sui and realized he always started his attacks the same way. Tai dodged and countered, surprising Sui. Impressed, Sui admitted Tai had potential and decided to leave him alone. The next day, Tai appeared in another magazine. This time, the article called him a weird spy for always losing his clothes in fights. Embarrassed, Tai felt terrible, but Mutsumi comforted him, saying she still believed in him. Later, Mutsumi arranged for Tai to meet Sui again. Tai was shocked when Mutsumi scolded Sui for trying to harm Nano. Sui explained he was just following orders. He then led them to a secret cafe. As they walked in, the bartender triggered a trap door, dropping them into a dangerous training room. Sui explained this was a test. Tai struggled to make it through the traps and barely avoided being crushed by a giant rolling ball. Just as the ball was about to hit him, Rin, the leader of Hinajiku, appeared and smashed it. Rin looked at Tai and doubted he could protect Mutsumi, calling him weak. Later, during tea, Mutsumi revealed that Rin used to be Kaiouakaru's classmate, though they didn't get along. Rin admitted she cared about Mutsumi's safety but wasn't convinced Tai was good enough for her. Mutsumi defended Tai, saying his strong will made him special. Suddenly, Kaiouakaru burst in, demanding Rin release Mutsumi. The two began fighting, shaking the entire base with their powerful blows. When one of their attacks almost hit Mutsumi, Tai jumped in and shielded her, taking the full force of the attack. This act earned Rin's respect, though Tai was left injured. After the fight, Rin gave Tai a mission. She explained that a popular politician, Yuri, was secretly working with spies to commit crimes and rise to power. Hinajiku suspected Yuri was planning to use bombs during the upcoming election, but needed proof. Rin assigned Tai to go undercover, disguised as a woman, to infiltrate Yuri's team and uncover his plans. Later, Yuri was hosting an event where he introduced his new assistant. But things took a chaotic turn when a group of men barged in, accusing him of being a tyrant. Yuri's supporters quickly opposed them, and the situation escalated into a fight. In the chaos, a speaker fell and almost hit the leader of the group. However, Yuri stepped in and saved him, saying that everyone has the right to voice their opinions. This act left the crowd deeply moved. As medics rushed Yuri to an ambulance, it was revealed that the whole incident was staged. Yuri's spies removed their disguises and showed him a graph showing his popularity rising. He then ordered them to share the staged footage online to gain more votes. Watching from the shadows, Tai realized how manipulative Yuri was and vowed to expose him. Tai later went through Yuri's documents at the office but couldn't find anything incriminating. Meanwhile, Yuri's campaign gained more traction. Tai suspected Yuri of using sneaky tactics to stay ahead and grew increasingly worried about the bombs Yuri might use. While observing Yuri's group, Tai noticed something strange. Yuri's team used dance movements to secretly communicate. By studying their moves, Tai learned they were planning a terrorist attack. Yuri met the Prime Minister and, seeing him as a threat, plotted to eliminate him. He detonated a bomb, but it exploded harmlessly in a fountain, thanks to Tai, who had anticipated the move. Yuri, realizing his plan had been foiled, threatened Tai, revealing another bomb and claiming he knew Tai's true identity. He shot Tai, but the bullets turned out to be fake, as everyone was wearing shock-resistant jackets. Just when Yuri thought he had the upper hand, Sui arrived, disarmed Yuri and his team, and declared them under arrest. Some spies managed to escape, but Yuri was taken into custody. On their way to headquarters, Yuri taunted Tai, revealing he knew about Tai's family tragedy, and hinted it wasn't an accident. He refused to elaborate and escaped using a bomb disguised as an earring. At the mansion, Nano worked on a potion, worried about Tai's safety. Mutsumi, concerned for him as well, prepared a feast to help him recover when he returned. Meanwhile, Tai saved a bus driver and got a call from Sui, who revealed they had anticipated Yuri's escape. They also discovered Yuri's real identity, a legendary spy named Kuragao, thought to have died years ago. Tracking Kuragao's movements, the team discovered he had captured the Prime Minister. Kuragao revealed his true identity to the Prime Minister, who was shocked to see him alive. Driven by revenge for the death of his daughter, Kuragao admitted to killing politicians who had betrayed him. A flashback showed how Kuragao once worked for politicians, doing their dirty work. One day, while celebrating his daughter's birthday, she received a gift that exploded, killing her. Kuragao realized the politicians had tried to kill him after he was no longer useful. In the present, Kuragao planned to execute the Prime Minister and broadcast it live. Tai destroyed the camera, stopping the broadcast, and confronted Kurogao. Kurogao threatened to use an electric revolver on the Prime Minister if Tai attacked. Despite the threat, Tai charged at him but was overpowered. Kurogao revealed he wasn't the best fighter but was unmatched in using information to defeat his enemies. Sui arrived, dealing with Kurogao's spies, who tried to overwhelm him with elemental attacks. Sui used his superior combat technique to take them down effortlessly. Back with Tai, Kurogao taunted him about his family's death, but Tai found strength in memories of Mutsumi, who had helped him move on. Using Sui's combat style, Tai surprised Kurogao, who didn't expect him to improvise. With help from Nano's antidote and Kengo's fake skin, Tai disarmed Kurogao, destroyed his gun, and defeated him. Admitting defeat, Kurogao handed Tai a note and prepared to reveal the truth about his family. Before he could, an assassin shot him. With his dying breath, Kurogao urged Tai to live without fear. Sui arrived, suspecting the assassin's involvement, but praised Tai for completing the mission. Later, Tai followed the instructions in Kurogao's note, leading him to a tree where Kurogao had buried his daughter. Tai paid his respects and discovered a mysterious item hidden there. Returning to the mansion, Tai was greeted with joy, though Yozakura secretly seemed disappointed that Tai had survived. The next day, Rin held a party to thank Tai for finishing his mission. She said she gathered all the food ingredients herself. But when she noticed Akiro at the party, she told him to leave. Akiro said he brought drinks for everyone, so she let him stay. Sui cut up the meat and Tai cooked it. When the food was ready, Tai gave a plate to Mutsumi, but Yozakura grabbed it and ate it first. Rin got mad and yelled at him to stop. Soon, they started throwing food at each other, and it turned into a big food fight. Sui tried to calm everyone down, but it didn't work. Aoba got hit while trying to grab food, and Tai realized they wouldn't get to eat if this kept going. Sui used his fast movements to collect food for everyone, but he warned Tai not to copy him since it would be too hard on his body. After the party, Tai kept thinking about the strange item he found. He wondered if it had answers about his family. Mutsumi asked if he was going to open it, but he admitted he was scared. He thought it might tell him something painful, like his family being murdered, which could make him want revenge like Kurogao. Mutsumi kissed him and promised to stay by his side no matter what happened. Tai got embarrassed and dropped the box. When they opened it, they found a strange marble. Yozakura said it had a recording inside, but he got mad at Tai for dropping it. Rin held him back, telling Tai and Mutsumi to leave. At the mansion, Ayaka suddenly jumped on Tai, surprising him. She told him she was invited by Mutsumi to live there as a maid, but her real job was to protect Tai from assassins because there was a bounty on his head. Ayaka said she wanted to practice attacking him so he could learn to defend himself. Tai thought it was a bad idea, but Mutsumi said it was for his safety. One evening, Tai was really tired, so Mutsumi wanted to make him some tea. But there were no tea leaves left because Yozakura used them all. Later, Tai went to take a bath, and Ayaka warned him not to let his guard down. She tried to attack him but accidentally triggered a trap and got electrocuted. Tai broke the trap by grabbing the power source, even though he got shocked, too. He told Ayaka to be more careful. Just then, Yozakura walked in and thought Tai was cheating on Mutsumi. He even brought a torture device, making Tai run away in fear. The next day, Tai was about to leave for his mission when Mutsumi gave him his phone. She saw someone named Kaoru was calling him, which made Ayaka suspicious. Later, Tai went on a date with Mutsumi, who brought along their family's guard dog, Goliath. Goliath was huge and had been protecting their family for years, but Goliath didn't like Tai and knocked him over. Mutsumi gave Tai the leash, but Goliath ran off, dragging Tai behind him. Tai managed to stop Goliath, but then he noticed a bomb attached to a balloon. It exploded, but Tai protected everyone. Goliath sniffed the bomb fragments and tracked down the bomber. The dog broke into the bomber's hideout and scared him into giving up. When Tai got back home, Ayaka attacked him again, calling him a cheater. She showed him a picture of him with another girl. Just then, two members of the Hinajiku squad arrived. One of them, Momoji, gave Tai a package. It turned out Kaoru, Momoji's grandfather, had been calling Tai about the package. Inside was rare tea, Yozakura's favorite. Tai had gone on a dangerous mission to gather the ingredients for it as a surprise. Everyone realized Tai wasn't cheating. Ayaka apologized, but Yozakura refused to admit he was wrong. Goliath stomped on him as punishment. Mutsumi thanked Tai and said he was a great husband. Later, Mutsumi showed Tai a family photo. She said it was taken when Nano passed his spy license exam. She explained that spies get licenses from the Spy Association, which allow them to take better jobs and earn more rewards. Tai decided he wanted to take the exam. Taiyo Asano told him not to fail, reminding him that all his siblings passed on their first try. Suddenly, they heard a scream. Ayaka had accidentally broken one of Shin's devices, which glitched and showed a ghost. Futaba, who was scared of ghosts, panicked. That night, she couldn't sleep alone, so Mutsumi read her a story. When Mutsumi fell asleep, Tai finished it. Futaba said the story reminded her of her mom, who used to read it to her. She admitted that she wasn't really scared of ghosts, she was scared of losing the people she loved. Tai told her he understood and that he wanted to get stronger to protect everyone. Futaba wished him luck on his spy exam as the day ended. After some time, Tai took the spy exam. He did really well, and many participants thought he was amazing. But one guy saw Tai as competition and didn't like him. During lunch, a man who knew about Tai's bounty tried to attack him. Before anything could happen, another participant, Tsukio, stopped him with a gust of wind and reminded everyone that fighting wasn't allowed. The man ran away. Tai thanked Tsukio, but Tsukio shocked him by saying he was in love with him. Tai thought it was creepy, but Tsukio said he was serious. Mutsumi noticed Tsukio and warned him to stay away from Tai. She called him a playboy who flirted with everyone. Tsukio said she couldn't stop him and admitted he had been following Tai because of his great personality. The exam started again, and Tai focused on passing. He easily cleared the practical tests, but Tsukio kept bothering him during the written exam. Tai found the questions tough but didn't cheat, even when Tsukio offered to help. In the end, Tai managed to pass on his own. A voice announced that everyone who passed could get their licenses at the end of the hall. Suddenly, the building started collapsing, and traps appeared. Everyone rushed to get their licenses. Tai and Tsukio avoided the traps, but Tai's rival attacked him, knocking him down. Tai nearly fell but was saved by Tsukio. When Tsukio almost failed, Tai helped him back up. Then, Tsukio revealed he was a proctor and had been testing Tai's humanity. He said being a good person was more important than technical skills. Tai's rival failed, and Tsukio gave Tai his license, congratulating him. Tai asked if Tsukio really loved him, and when Tsukio said yes, Tai ran away in embarrassment. When Tai got back to the mansion, everyone celebrated his success. Suddenly, Akiro fell from the ceiling, admitting he had been spying on Mutsumi. Futaba got angry and beat him up, while Ayaka took pictures and laughed. A few days later, Tai noticed an old man hiding in his bag. The man said he wanted to avoid the traps in the mansion and used Tai's bag to sneak in. He introduced himself as Tai's grandfather, but Tai panicked and shot him, thinking he was an intruder. Tai apologized, and Mutsumi explained the old man was her grandfather, Ban. Ban gave Tai and Mutsumi a wedding gift and said he thought Tai was a great husband. He asked Tai to hang out, but Taiyo Asano stopped him, saying the police wanted Ban arrested because he was an escaped convict. Ban said he wasn't a real criminal. He had been stationed in prison to gather information. He then escaped in a puff of smoke, taking Tai with him. Taiyo Asano called Tai, warning him that Ban was a legendary spy who could escape any situation. Ban went around flirting with women and sharing secrets. Tai tried to stop him, but Ban always got away, teasing Tai for being inexperienced. Tai managed to trap Ban by gluing him to the floor, but Ban escaped again by taking off his clothes. Ban told Tai he escaped prison because he wanted to see him and said Tai reminded him of himself. Ban explained how meeting his wife, Keiko, had changed his life and told Tai to appreciate his time with Mutsumi. Tai said he already cherished every moment with her. Suddenly, an old woman appeared and put handcuffs on Ban, saying they would explode if he escaped. It was Keiko, and Ban was happy to see her. He invited her to celebrate their anniversary, but she told him to go back to prison. The police arrived and took Ban away. Tai realized Ban broke out of prison just to see Keiko and understood how much he loved her. Mutsumi, who had been watching, thought she was lucky to have Tai as her husband. Later, they learned Ban went on a date with Keiko before returning to prison. But not long after, Ban escaped again. He returned to the mansion but found everyone had gone shopping. At the mall, Tai remembered coming there with his family before they passed away. Mutsumi used a gacha machine and got hand grenades, which shocked Tai. Then she ordered something from a shop, paying with a code. The shop gave her bullets, and she explained the mall secretly sold spy gear. Tai bought a bulletproof shirt but saw a little girl named Suzu looking for her dad. Tai took her to Mutsumi, and Suzu said her dad had been taken by thugs. Mutsumi led them to a hidden basement in the mall. It was dark and full of shady people. They found Suzu's dad being threatened by thugs. Tai saved him, but they were surrounded. The thugs recognized Tai and tried to capture him for his bounty. Before they could attack, Taiyo Asano showed up and scared them off. Tai wondered why Taiyo Asano was helping him, but then saw Akiro holding a torture book, looking excited to test it on him. More of Tai's siblings arrived and easily defeated the thugs. The basement began collapsing as they left. Tai complained, but no one cared. Akiro made fun of Tai, but Futaba knocked him out. Back at the mansion, Tai thought about his family. He remembered playing video games with his brother and how his mom scolded him for it. She asked his dad to spend more time with the family, and his dad suggested a camping trip. On the way, it started raining, and their car crashed. Tai was the only one who survived. Waking up from the memory, Tai realized he was still struggling to move on from their deaths. Shin worked hard to figure out what was inside the device Tai had brought back from Kurogao. After some time, she finally cracked it and found something surprising. It contained the guest list from Mutsumi's parents' wedding. Tai's parents' names were on the list, which shocked everyone. Mutsumi felt terrible. She thought that her family might have been the reason Tai's parents were killed. She felt so guilty that she told Tai to leave her, thinking it would be safer for him. But Tai refused to leave. He told her not to blame herself or jump to conclusions without knowing the full truth. He said he would never leave her, no matter what they found out. Tai asked Shin for help in finding out what really happened to his family. Shin explained that they didn't have enough clues yet, but she had an idea. She suggested Tai visit the Library of the Dead, a secret place filled with information about people who had gone missing or been killed under strange circumstances. Shin warned Tai to be extremely careful because the library wasn't a safe place. She explained that the librarian, Mi, was dangerous. When Tai arrived at the library, he immediately saw what she meant. A man laughed loudly inside, breaking the silence, and Mi killed him instantly. Tai was horrified. He realized the library had strict rules about silence, and anyone who made a sound could be killed. Shin told him that Mi had superhuman hearing and could detect even the faintest noise. Tai turned his earphones down to the lowest volume and started looking for information quietly. After some time, he found a book about his parents. He was excited but quickly realized that the book didn't have any details about how they died. Then, he noticed a small slot on the book that matched the device Kurogao had given him. Tai inserted the device, and it unlocked hidden information. He learned that his family had been targeted by a secret organization called Tanpopo. The group was dangerous and responsible for many crimes. Most people thought Tai had died along with his family. Before Tai could learn more, the book self-destructed. They immediately came after him. Thinking fast, Tai shot an electrical outlet, causing a blackout. He tried to escape in the dark, but Mi said she could hear the sound of his soul, and wouldn't let him get away. Tai was in big trouble until Mutsumi gave him instructions through his earphones. She told him to turn the volume up. Then, she screamed as loudly as she could into the microphone. The loud noise overwhelmed me, and she collapsed, giving Tai a chance to escape. Tai thanked Mutsumi for saving him. When Tai got back to the mansion, Yozakura decided to torture him for fun, as usual. While this was happening, Tai asked about Tanpopo. Yozakura explained that Tanpopo was an extremely dangerous group responsible for Mutsumi's mother's death. He also revealed that Tanpopo wanted something special from Mutsumi's family. Her blood contained a rare protein that gave her family superhuman abilities. This protein couldn't be created artificially, and Tanpopo wanted to take Mutsumi's heart to get it. Yozakura believed Tai's parents had been caught up in Tanpopo's plans. To investigate further, Yozakura looked into Tai's parents' past. He found out that Tai's father had worked at a hospital. After digging deeper, Yozakura discovered something alarming. 15 medical workers from the hospital had died mysteriously within a single month. All the deaths were connected to a doctor named Makoto. Tai decided to go undercover and visit Makoto's clinic. He dressed up as a patient, while Mutsumi came along pretending to be his overly caring wife. Yozakura even added weights to Tai's clothes to make him move slowly, like an old man. At the clinic, Makoto checked Tai and said he was perfectly healthy. Tai thought Makoto seemed like a nice, trustworthy doctor, but he knew there was more going on behind the scenes. Later that night, when Makoto left the office, Tai broke in to look for evidence. Using a hacking program Shin had given him, Tai accessed hidden files on Makoto's computer. He discovered that Tanpopo wanted to extract the rare protein from Mutsumi's family. The protein, found in their blood, was the key to their abilities. Tanpopo couldn't create it artificially and planned to take Mutsumi's heart to get what they needed. Makoto returned and caught Tai snooping. He attacked Tai and revealed a tattoo on his neck, proving he was part of Tanpopo. Makoto stabbed Tai, but the knife hit the weights Tai was wearing. Tai fought back but couldn't injure Makoto. Using a bright flash of light, Makoto escaped with his computer. Tai revealed that he had already copied the files and promised to protect Mutsumi from Tanpopo. The next day, Yozakura decided to take Tai to the Pacific Ocean for training. Tai caught a fish but couldn't help feeling suspicious about Yozakura's sudden kindness. While fishing, a bounty hunter suddenly appeared and attacked Tai. Tai managed to fight him off, but Yozakura revealed it was all part of the training. He had even sent out flyers to attract more bounty hunters. Soon, several attackers showed up. Yozakura reminded Tai that he was still a bronze rank spy, while his siblings had reached silver rank when they were much younger. Tai struggled but eventually defeated the bounty hunters. Suddenly, a torpedo hit their boat, destroying it completely. Tai saved the bounty hunters from drowning and noticed the Tanpopo symbol on the torpedo. Yozakura explained that Tanpopo controlled smuggling routes worldwide and warned Tai that fighting them would be nearly impossible. Tai didn't care and promised to protect Mutsumi no matter what. He used his wires to stop another torpedo, opening it with a knife and disabling it just in time. Meanwhile, Yozakura destroyed the submarine that had launched the torpedoes. Later, they discovered a hotel called Dandelion that was connected to Tanpopo. Tai decided to investigate. He tried climbing the building but fell into a pool after being hit during a random fight nearby. Eventually, he sneaked into the hotel disguised as a cat. Tai confronted Makoto and the hotel owner, No Man. No Man injected himself with a drug called Yozakura, which gave him superhuman strength and regeneration. Tai couldn't defeat him, but Shinzo arrived to help. Shinzo fought No Man using advanced weapons, eventually using an electric gun to knock him out. Back at the mansion, Tai collapsed from his injuries. Nano revealed that Tai had been shot multiple times and was lucky to survive. While Tai was unconscious, Yozakura tried to draw on his face, but Futaba stopped him. Nano told everyone to leave so Tai could rest. Later, Yozakura was relaxing with a cup of tea when Shinzo came over to talk. Yozakura thought Shinzo was feeling bad about something and told him not to be so hard on himself. But Shinzo said something strange had happened. Tai had started bleeding suddenly when they were together. Shinzo explained he didn't hear anyone shoot Tai, even though he has super sharp hearing. This made him think Tai was injured earlier, and it only showed up later. It sounded odd, but Shinzo was sure someone could pull it off. Before they could talk more, an alarm went off in the mansion. Mutsumi was confused because the alarm sounded strange. Shin quickly explained it was the intruder alarm, and it meant over 1,000 enemies were approaching. Outside, a huge group of fighters called the Yozakura Battalion was getting ready to attack. Their leader, Yama, kept his soldiers under control, warning them not to lose focus. He told them that the Yozakura drug they all used made them stronger but also made them aggressive. Makoto, another leader, told Yama to keep the soldiers in line and reminded him of their plan. They had hurt Tai to lure the entire family to the mansion. Their mission was to wipe out all of Mutsumi's siblings. The battalion stormed the mansion. Shin announced that the security systems had been hacked, and Futaba realized someone had leaked their codes. The invaders were met by Goliath, the family's enormous guard dog. Goliath turned into a giant beast and started attacking the enemies. Mutsumi's siblings joined the fight, using their abilities to defend the mansion. But Futaba noticed the attackers were tougher than usual, taking hits without going down. Yama watched from a distance, telling his soldiers to keep fighting. He explained that most people couldn't handle Yozakura, but his own compatibility with the drug was 6 times higher than usual. Confident in his strength, Yama charged at Goliath, slamming him into the mansion walls. Goliath got back up, but Yama realized the family's biggest weakness. They cared too much about each other. Using this to his advantage, Yama slipped past their defenses and entered the mansion. Inside, Yama ran into Yozakura, who threatened to kill him. Suddenly, the mansion's speakers activated, and a voice triggered hibernation mode, trapping the entire mansion inside thick walls. Yama escaped Yozakura, and Futaba realized she recognized the voice behind the attack. Yozakura explained that only the head's ring could turn off hibernation mode and said he needed to retrieve it from the previous head of the family. He told Futaba to keep fighting the battalion. Meanwhile, Mutsumi realized something was wrong. The power was out, and she couldn't reach her siblings because her phone had no signal. Tai's condition was getting worse, and Mutsumi panicked, fearing he might die. Desperate to save him, she found a syringe and decided to use her blood. Remembering what her mother had told her about its special power, Mutsumi injected her blood into Tai, hoping it would work. Just as Mutsumi finished, Yama burst into the room and tried to grab her. Tai suddenly woke up and stopped Yama, warning him not to touch Mutsumi. Yama wasn't scared and charged at Tai. Tai fought back and realized something had changed. He felt lighter and faster, and everything around him seemed slower. He landed a strong hit on Yama, pushing him back. But Yama explained that the summonine in Mutsumi's blood was dangerous. It made Tai stronger, but it was also destroying his body. Yama said Tai's brain and body couldn't handle it, and that he would die soon. Mutsumi hugged Tai, trying to calm him down. She refused to leave him and even said she would take her own life if Tanpopo tried to use her blood. Yama threw Mutsumi aside and went to attack Tai again, but Tai stopped him with a powerful blow that tore a hole in Yama's body. Yama couldn't regenerate and called Tai a monster before collapsing. Elsewhere, Yozakura tracked down the mysterious man behind hibernation mode. It turned out to be his own father. Yozakura demanded the ring to turn off hibernation mode. His father smiled, saying he was impressed with the family and proud of how strong Tai had become. Yozakura accused him of planning everything, including injuring Tai, to force Mutsumi to use her blood. His father admitted it, saying he wanted Tai to be strong enough to protect Mutsumi. Yozakura, furious, told his father to stay away from the family. He attacked, but his father dodged easily, reminding Yozakura that he had taught him how to fight. Despite this, Yozakura managed to restrain him and take the ring. He turned off hibernation mode, freeing the mansion. Back at the mansion, everyone was relieved Tai had survived, but they were confused about how he recovered so quickly. Suddenly, Tai went out of control. The summonine in his blood overwhelmed him, making him act wild. Nano explained that the drug had awakened all the cells in Tai's body, but it was too much for him to handle. Tai fought his siblings when they tried to restrain him. Finally, Yozakura gave Tai Shin's headphones, saying Mutsumi should sing to calm him. The siblings doubted this would work, but Mutsumi agreed. Her singing was so terrible that even birds flew away, but it managed to calm Tai. He regained control and joked that her voice made him feel like the world was ending. Futaba asked Yozakura why he helped Tai, knowing he usually loved making him suffer. Yozakura just shrugged and said he did it because he felt like it. The next morning, Tai wakes up feeling sore all over, remembering his intense fight with Yama. Despite the pain, he gets out of bed and heads to the bathroom, checking his reflection. His eye still looks unusual, a reminder of the battle. Meanwhile, Nano approaches Mutsumi in the kitchen with a recipe he claims will help Tai recover faster. Mutsumi looks a bit unsure, but Nano reassures her that it's effective. Tai joins them, saying he got some rest but still feels the pain lingering in his body. Nano suggests he stay home to rest, but Tai insists he has to go to school. Mutsumi, worried about him, asks Nano to go along to keep an eye on him. Nano hesitates, explaining that his unusual body might attract attention. Mutsumi suggests he use a special drug that temporarily returns him to a more human-like form. Reluctantly, Nano agrees, taking the drug and reverting to his original appearance. On the way to school, Nano explains to Tai that he only uses this drug when necessary. He admits that his regular, mutated body is easier to control and stabilizes his powers. Tai listens but gets worried when Nano starts transforming back slightly, his body struggling to maintain its normal shape. Nano brushes it off, saying it's something he's used to. At school, Tai is hanging out with his friends when he gets a call from Nano, asking him to come to the biology lab. Tai rushes over and finds Nano mid-transformation, struggling to maintain control. Nano hands Tai a syringe, asking him to inject the medicine quickly. Tai follows his instructions, and Nano's body stabilizes again. Just as things calm down, a girl named Kitasato, the biology club president, walks in. She notices Nano looks unwell and checks his temperature by pressing her forehead to his. Declaring he has a cold, she insists he visit the nurse's office. Embarrassed by her sudden care, Nano's temperature rises for real, making her diagnosis seem accurate. After she leaves, Nano explains to Tai that Kitasato is brilliant but has little trust in people. He warns Tai to avoid her as she might get too curious. Later, Nano starts mutating again, and Tai notices him mumbling a strange chant. Nano explains it's a sequence of DNA shared by all living things, and reciting it helps him feel grounded. He then reveals he's considering injecting himself with a permanent vaccine that will stabilize his body forever. However, it would mean he could never return to his normal form or live a typical life. Tai urges Nano not to give up, reminding him of his friends and the life he has built. Things take a turn when Kitasato accidentally spills one of Nano's experimental drugs in the lab, which is consumed by her pet snake. The snake mutates into a massive, dangerous creature, and chaos erupts as animals from the lab escape. Nano and Tai rush to help, finding Kitasato unconscious. They revive her, but she insists on saving her snake, despite its transformation. Feeling guilty for causing the mess, Nano decides to fix it himself. He allows the snake to bite him, using his mutated cells to neutralize the drug. The snake returns to normal, but the process destabilizes Nano's body further. Nano retreats to the rooftop, prepared to inject the permanent vaccine to end his instability. Tai finds him and begs him to reconsider, reminding him of the chant that has always helped him. Nano recites the chant and regains control. Just then, Kitasato appears, revealing she overheard everything. She misinterprets the situation, thinking Tai wants to join the biology club, and welcomes him enthusiastically. She also insists Nano stay, saying she values his help, making Nano feel appreciated. Back at the mansion, Tai and Nano return to find everyone unconscious. Mutsumi sheepishly admits she tried Nano's recipe to help Tai recover, but it accidentally knocked everyone out. She reassures them it's just a side effect and that they'll wake up stronger. Nano quickly begins working on an antidote to prevent further accidents. Later, Tai spars with Shinzo to train, but Shinzo easily defeats him. He explains that Tai's powers, enhanced by the summonine drug, are hard to control because they overwhelm his senses. He advises Tai to focus on balance and awareness instead of raw strength. Kaiyu joins them, offering additional advice, encouraging Tai to wield his power with purpose. Despite struggling, Tai works hard to improve. Mutsumi then surprises everyone with news that she won tickets to a hot springs resort in a raffle. The family gets excited, but Kaiyu throws a tantrum, upset that he can't join them because of his mission. Mutsumi promises to spend time with him next time, and he reluctantly leaves. The family takes a shortcut to the hot springs, but their car falls into a lake. Panicked, Tai thinks they're doomed, but Shin transforms the car into a submarine, navigating them through an underwater cave. They eventually reach the hot springs, which is filled with dangerous underworld figures. Futaba reassures Tai that fighting is forbidden on the premises. Despite this, an enemy of Kaiyu recognizes them and tries to pick a fight. The hostess, Emma, intervenes, reminding everyone of the no fighting rule. Inside, the family settles in. Nano, using his charm, convinces Shinzo to give him the prized window seat. The brothers reminisce about their childhood, and Tai shares a touching story about his own younger brother, bringing everyone closer together. Elsewhere, Futaba asks Mutsumi if she's ready to share something important with Tai. She thinks it's the right time, confident that Tai will accept it. The siblings gathered in the banquet hall, enjoying their meal together. A man stormed in, furious, and accused them of destroying his organization. He grabbed his beer and poured it over Futaba, trying to humiliate her. But instead of getting angry, Futaba burst into laughter, saying the beer tasted amazing. Her drunken state made her unpredictable, and she started throwing the man around the room like a rag doll. Her siblings realized she had lost control, so Tai quickly grabbed Mutsumi and got her out of there while the others tried to calm Futaba down. Tai brought Mutsumi to her room, where she mentioned they had a private bath, and invited him to join her. He hesitated, embarrassed, but she reminded him they were married now, so there was no need to be shy. She shared memories of bathing with her brothers when she was younger. While they were relaxing, they heard loud noises coming from the banquet hall, signaling Futaba's rampage wasn't over yet. Despite the chaos, Tai tried to enjoy the moment, but Mutsumi turned serious, saying there was something important she needed to tell him. Standing up, she revealed a scar on her chest. She explained how Tanpopo had abducted her and almost removed her heart because it was rich with a substance called summonine. They wanted to use it to create thousands of superhumans, but her blood came with a catch. It required the body to be weakened first to adapt, causing severe suffering. Mutsumi admitted she was forced to give her blood to Tai during a critical moment, saving his life. She confessed it was their father, Momo, who had orchestrated everything to ensure Tai would inherit the family's abilities. Her emotions grew heavy as she recalled how her father once promised to save her mother but had since become mysterious and distant. Tai suggested they confront Momo to find out the truth. Their serious conversation was interrupted when Shinzo crashed into the room, warning them to run. Moments later, Kaiyu arrived, furious and ready to attack Tai. However, Futaba, now sobering up, intervened to protect her brother-in-law. What followed was an outrageous pillow fight between Kaiyu and the siblings. Shin even brought out a minigun that fired pillows, and Kengo hilariously disguised himself as Mutsumi to distract Kaiyu. Despite Kaiyu strength, the siblings managed to overpower him with teamwork. The next morning, they celebrated their victory, jokingly marking it as one for the history books. Meanwhile, Ayaka and Sui infiltrated a Tanpopo facility, hoping to uncover crucial information. They discovered an empty storage area that previously held Yozakura. Suddenly, a bomb detonated, destroying the facility. Watching from a safe distance, Makoto smirked, knowing his plan to mislead them had worked. Ayaka and Sui escaped unharmed but realized Tanpopo was always ahead of them. Back at the mansion, Ayaka updated Mutsumi on the ongoing investigation. She explained that the Hinajuku team had been tracking Tanpopo's transportation routes, suspecting them of moving Yozakura. However, the exact destinations remained unclear, and the siblings decided to investigate further. Tai, disguised as a porter, boarded a train suspected to be part of Tanpopo's operations. While struggling with his duties, he noticed nothing unusual among the passengers. Taking a break, he met a girl named Shirai, who returned his dropped revolver. She introduced herself before Tai noticed the train filling with smoke. Realizing something was wrong, he discovered the train had been modified to release a poison gas that disoriented the passengers. Thinking quickly, Tai broke the windows to let in fresh air, saving many lives. In the dining car, Tai encountered Momo and Makoto. Momo mocked Tai and gave sarcastic advice about handling his revolver. Shirai, using her Yozakura-enhanced hair, restrained Tai. Makoto revealed that their plan to scatter the siblings and isolate Tai had succeeded. He gloated about how easily Tai had fallen into their trap. Momo hinted at using Mutsumi's blood for his purposes, but Makoto appeared frustrated, hinting at jealousy over Momo's freedom. Determined to fight, Tai activated his powers, breaking free from Shirai's hold. Shirai explained her abilities, revealing that her hair, enhanced with Yozakura, could block electricity and regenerate quickly. Despite her overwhelming strength, Tai refused to back down. As they fought, Shirai used her hair to send a secret message, revealing that Tai's parents had died because of her connection to Tanpopo. A flashback showed how Makoto had used unethical experiments to save Shirai's life. He eliminated Tai's parents to hide his research from the public. Guilt-ridden, Shirai handed Tai her earrings, which contained GPS data that could help him track Tanpopo. As Tai processed the truth, his emotions caused his summoning levels to spike uncontrollably. Losing control, Tai risked destroying himself, but he performed bloodletting to stabilize his powers. With renewed determination, he launched a powerful attack, overwhelming Shirai. As she fell, Tai caught her and returned one of her earrings. He thanked her for preserving his parents' memory, saying he didn't blame her because Tanpopo had manipulated her. She passed away peacefully. Before Tai could stop the train, he was ambushed by AI and Mizuki, operatives sent by Makoto. Mizuki overpowered Tai, but Futaba and Rin arrived just in time to rescue him. Rin's brute strength and Futaba's combat skills turned the tide, destroying the train in the process. Although Mizuki escaped with Shirai's body, Futaba believed Tai had gathered the information he had come here to get. The siblings gathered at the mansion, where Rin shared important news. Tanpopo's hideout had been located on Skeleton Island. She explained that Shirai's earring had helped them pinpoint the location and revealed that there was a massive stockpile of Yozakura there. Suspecting Tanpopo was planning something big, Rin proposed an attack in a week, and the siblings agreed, understanding they'd need allies to defeat such a powerful enemy. Meanwhile, Tai reflected on his fight with Shirai and realized he still had much to learn. Ban appeared, announcing he would train Tai. They went to the training area, where Ban reminisced about training with Momo, believing Tai would have gotten along with him. Ban explained that Tai was only scratching the surface of Summonion's potential by using it to enhance his physical strength. He demonstrated how Summonion could control the speed and weight of bullets, noting that Momo had used this technique against Tai. Ban then began shooting at Tai, explaining he'd reduce the bullets' force so they wouldn't kill him. He challenged Tai to block the bullets with his sword. Though Tai struggled initially, he was determined to improve, and Ban pushed him harder, promising to train him for a full week. Elsewhere, Iwakairu was training Rin and Seiji to use his weapon. During practice, Rin accidentally cut her bandages, revealing the Tanpopo symbol on her body. She explained how Tanpopo had kidnapped and experimented on her, driving her to form Hinajuku to take revenge. Aoga and Sui, who bore similar marks, revealed they had also been test subjects. Rin had rescued them, but many others had died from the long-term effects of Yozakura. Nano, after analyzing their blood, believed he might be able to reverse some of the damage. Sui reminded Nano of the time he had tried to kill him, but Nano laughed it off, saying he wasn't that easy to get rid of. While Shin continued her investigation into Tanpopo, Kengo visited a man named Hadoda, who was working on a special project for him. Meanwhile, Shinzo was hard at work on a new weapon. He revealed it was based on blueprints his parents had left behind but that they had never completed it. Ayaka encouraged him to take breaks, offering him sweets to cheer him up. Futaba, on the other hand, was hosting Tsukiyo at a tea ceremony. As men attempted to attack her, she effortlessly created a whirlwind with her tea preparation, sending them flying. Tsukiyo, observing the scene, mentioned he wanted to work with Tai. Back at the training grounds, Tai was in terrible shape, worrying Mutsumi. Ban admitted their progress was slow and decided to switch tactics. He explained the concept of blooming, a state where summoning unlocks a person's full potential. Ban demonstrated his ability to pass through seemingly impenetrable spaces, and showed how he could enhance a bullet to reach water beneath the mansion. He decided to teach Tai how to awaken his blooming state by making him resonate with his body through synchronized movements. To Tai's surprise, this involved dancing. Despite the unorthodox method, Tai began reacting faster, showing signs of improvement. Ban decided to push Tai further by firing a powerful bullet at Mutsumi. Acting on instinct, Tai blocked the shot, fully awakening his powers. Ban explained that blooming abilities reflect a person's humanity, and Tai's power of hardening symbolized his protective nature. Ban admitted he had staged the event to unlock Tai's potential, knowing his protective instincts for Mutsumi would drive him to succeed. Tai was upset about the dangerous prank, but Mutsumi assured him she had never been in real danger. Keiko later scolded Ban for manipulating Tai and punished him by refusing to hug him for a week. Keiko then took Mutsumi to a secret chamber accessible only with the head's ring. She revealed it was the head's chamber, designed as a refuge. Inside was the mysterious Book of Buds, which contained the family's deepest secrets. However, Keiko admitted she didn't know how to unlock it, and forcing it open would trigger the destruction of the mansion. She warned that if the world discovered the book's contents, it would cause chaos. Keiko asked if Mutsumi was willing to sacrifice everything to protect the family's legacy. Mutsumi affirmed her commitment, saying she would do whatever was necessary. Tai and Ban arrived, with Tai finally catching up after chasing them. Hearing everything, Tai hugged Mutsumi and promised to grow stronger so she wouldn't have to bear the burden alone. And that's where this video ends. If you the next part, comment part 2, and watch this following video. Until next one.